Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, Bashem Rakak Dash. My name is Chicago from Plain Tables Camp, Philly. The missiles are real. They appear in Joel in the form of horses. Joel mentions them as being horses. All right, you can look up Joel, the 2nd chapter. It says, a day of gloominess and darkness. It's like a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of mourning. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong, there hath not ever been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. All right, so the great people and the strong. All right, this is the army. This is the Lord's army, and the appearance of them are like the appearance of horses, as you see down here in Joel 2 and 4. All right, and this is what this army, these horses, are going to do. It's Joel 2 and 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame of fire. This is referring to the nuclear missiles. All right, the nuclear missiles. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them. So the army, the people that are great and strong, are referring to the nuclear missiles, all right? They have the power over fire, all right? And we look up horses. It's not referring to actual horses or people here. People great and strong. It's not talking about people. All right, and this is not physically talking about horses. It's referring to nuclear missiles. You look up horses. We got Sawas. I didn't look up horsemen. Horseman. Driver of a chariot. All right. But horses, I did look up. You got Sawas, means a swallow, a swift. All right, so it's not talking about a physical horse. A swallow is a bird. All right, swift. All right, these represent the ICBM nuclear missiles, which are swift and that fly like birds, but much faster and obviously much stronger. All right, so that's the meaning behind the horses. Very fast birds, but symbolically. All right, swift and a swallow, so you'll know it's an actual bird. All right, swallow, and their traveling speed is 30 to 40 miles an hour. All right, I think the fastest bird is like 100 miles an hour, something like that. All right, but the prophets they describe the missiles as very swift and powerful horses. All right, so here it tells you a fast bird, so these horses are going to be flying. All right, very swiftly. All right. Now Esau, Edom, these nations that have nuclear missiles are not in control of the missiles. I remember the elders and apostles brought out, back then they were elders. All right. They brought this out, and I seen this when this came out in 2010, September 28th, 2010. It's owned by aliens. U.S. missile guards claim UFOs target global nukes. All right, and former launch officers are going to give their testimony. Former launch officers. All right.
Now, they are said to be able to cross galaxies, but people who believe they're out there want to know why aliens want to visit Earth. A group of former
I don't even see her no more. Well, she might be around.
U.S. servicemen is convinced extraterrestrials are interfering with nuclear weapons, as RT Cedric Moon explains.
Perhaps few things say normal or routine. More than a daily dose of coffee out of the Holocaust.
Stand coffee shit. Nuclear tentativeness.
The men in this room.
Our missiles began going into what's called a no-go condition or unlaunchable essentially they were disabled.
Detailed in this report, full of court-sanctioned sworn affidavits.
The witnesses have described these craft as disc-shaped or cylindrical shaped or spherical.
If you think what's being said inside this building is completely ridiculous, you might want to consider something.
My name's Robert Hastings. Thank you for coming.
These are men who might know what may have gone on. They're former Air Force missile launch officers, missile base officers, who say UFO spaceships, flying saucers, make nuclear weapon systems go haywire.
In 1966, according to a launch officer, David Schur, his missiles were temporarily activated just as his security guard was reporting a bright object moving from missile to missile to missile.
10, 9, 8.
And it's not just in the United States. Also,
4, 3,
in Russia.
2, 1.
Like a 1982 incident that happened in then Soviet Ukraine.
Given the fact that these incidents have gone on over there, including one incident of their missiles being temporarily activated when a UFO was hovering above the missile base, identical to what occurred here, I think we can rule out that whoever are piloting these craft are either American or Russian.
Maybe they're right. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe there's.
All right, and I'm sure they might start talking about gray or green men in the the spacecraft too, but the point is that they former launch officers came out and said that they are not in control of the missiles. They would count down and they would stop. All right, so the Lord is in control of these missiles. The Army are the missiles, and the Yahweh Shai is in control of these missiles. All right. Parents of horses, swift birds. All right. And the rumble that you hear in the stampede, without the clicking and the clacking, is similar to, a barrage of missiles firing. All right. The thunder you hear when a stampede or a bunch of horses are running. All right. That's similar. All right. We did that. All right. So some more missile stuff. Came out last year, 2018. Well, the report about this hypersonic missile came out, but this is I believe a Canadian, if I'm not mistaken, CBC News. Did another report on in 2019, and I've done videos on this in 2018, I believe. Let's see what they got to say.
Russia has introduced a new missile system that could be impossible to defend against. The first regiment of avant-garde hypersonic missiles are now in service, and according to President Vladimir Putin, they can travel more than 20 times the speed of sound. Dominic Velitis is covering this story for us in London. Dominic, what more can you tell us about these new weapons?
Well, Jennifer, they were first unveiled back in 2018 by Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Indeed, he used his annual State of the Nation address that year to make the announcement. They are very fast. We're told, as you say, they can travel at 20 times the speed of sound. They can be mounted on top of an ICBM and can carry nuclear weapons of up to 2 megatons. But that's just part of the story, Jennifer. As well as being able to travel at incredible speeds, the avant-garde so-called glide system means it's also highly maneuverable. It can make sharp turns and take unpredictable courses on the way to its target, making it more difficult to intercept. And this is perhaps its big selling point and the quality that makes it really quite worrying. In effect, it is a new kind of intercontinental missile system that at the very least is difficult to defend against. Indeed, when it was unveiled last year, Putin boasted that the avant-garde was invulnerable to not only existing missile defense systems, but potentially future ones as well. Although I should stress, some experts here in the West have cast doubt on that claim. Jennifer.
So, Dominic, as you know, this is being called a game changer. Where does this leave other countries?
Well, certainly the United States and China have hypersonic missile programs of their own. China claims to have already tested such a weapon. But if the Russians' avant-garde is indeed in service, as they claim, It would put them well ahead in terms of current missile technology. And Moscow's announcement today comes at a time when Cold War arms control agreements between East and West are pretty much collapsing. Take the New START agreement as one crucial example. It is due to expire in February 2021. Russia appears willing to extend it, but the current US administration seems skeptical. And with Avangard now apparently in service and other next-generation nuclear weapons on the verge of entering service, there is a need for existing treaties to be shored up. Indeed, some think we even need new international agreements, new international treaties to deal.
All right, you get the point. You get the point. Back in Joel, it says in the 7th verse, Joel 2:7, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war. Now, these are not actual men. These are swift missiles, very swift missiles. All right, with the nuclear payload. And they shall march everyone to his ways, and they shall not break their rank. So whatever target the Lord Yahushua wants them to hit, they're going to hit. Whatever orders he received from the Father, he's going to carry those orders out. And neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Until there's going to be nothing that will be able to stop those missiles. Every as you've seen or heard, seen and heard, that these different countries have their different hypersonic nuclear programs or propulsion, rocket, technology or whatever that can carry, whatever payload they put on there, the most powerful, technology they have at the time. All right. So they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the walls. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. All right. That's how fast it's going to be. All right. Hypersonic. All right. The appearance of horses. All right. So I believe that's all I had. Well, we can go to Revelation 19 simultaneously, the Lord Yahushua is going to make his appearance first with his chariots. All right, because the sacrifice is going to be in Babylon and in other places around the world, but mainly Babylon. All right, the Lord Yahushua talks about the sacrifice in Basra. All right, this is Revelation 19:17. And I saw the angel standing in the sun and cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, all right, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God. All right, that they may eat the flesh of kings and the flesh of the captains and the flesh of the mighty men and the flesh of horses and of them that sit upon them and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, small and great. All right. So both the chariots of Israel and the nuclear missiles are going to destroy Babylon and the kings of the earth, because there are going to be no righteous kings ruling on the earth at the time of this prophecy. All right, save the future kings, the men of Israel. All right, so the kings that are going to be destroyed here and devoured here are going to be the rulers of the other nations. All right, and they're being called kings. All right, the rulers of these nations are going to be destroyed by the chariots of Israel, a nuclear fire. All right. So, hope you were edified. Till the next lesson, Shalom.